The power of humility. How Stoicism keeps you grounded. True wisdom comes to each of us when we realize how little we understand about life, ourselves, and the world around us. Socrates. Welcome back to Stoic in Your Life, where we explore the timeless wisdom of Stoicism and its powerful relevance in our fast-paced, success-obsessed world. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most underrated yet transformative virtues, humility. In a society that often equates worth with accolades and power with dominance, Stoicism offers a refreshing perspective. It reminds us that true strength and wisdom lie not in arrogance or self-satisfaction, but in the quiet confidence and grounded perspective that humility brings. Through the teachings of great Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca, we'll uncover how humility serves as a cornerstone for personal growth and resilience. These thinkers understood that the more we learn, the more we realize how much we don't know, a concept that challenges us to stay grounded, even in the face of success. We'll explore how embracing humility allows us to navigate life's challenges with grace, how it fosters deeper connections with others, and how it helps us maintain a balanced perspective, no matter how high we rise or how far we fall. So, if you're ready to break free from the superficial trappings of ego and discover the true power that lies in humility, you're in the right place. Stay tuned, because this episode of Stoic in Your Life could change not just the way you see yourself, but the way you approach everything in your life. Lesson 1. A trained mind is better than any script. The key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best. Epictetus. Welcome to a journey of empowerment and mental fortitude. Today we explore a concept that transcends the superficial and dives deep into the essence of true strength, training the mind. In a world that often feeds us pre-packaged solutions and scripts, it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking there's a one-size-fits-all answer to life's challenges. But the reality is much more complex and infinitely more rewarding when we develop a mind that's not only prepared, but also adaptable, resourceful, and resilient. The idea is simple, yet profound. A trained mind is far superior to any script or formula you could ever rely on. This isn't just about intelligence or knowledge. It's about cultivating a mindset that can face life's unpredictable nature with grace and poise. Let's consider what I call the script kiddie syndrome, a phenomenon where we rely too heavily on memorized lines and formulas to navigate life situations. We have scripts for everything: job interviews, first dates, even breakups. These scripts are designed to fit us into neat little boxes, predetermined molds that promise to make everything smoother. But here's the thing. Life doesn't play by our rules. It doesn't follow a script, and it certainly doesn't wait for us to catch up. Life throws curveballs, delivers unexpected twists, and presents challenges that no pre-written dialogue could ever fully prepare us for. Mike Tyson captured this sentiment perfectly when he said, "Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth." This is where the true power of a trained mind comes into play, and it's a power that the ancient Stoics understood deeply. Epictetus, a former slave who rose to become one of the most influential Stoic philosophers, taught us that it's not what happens to us, but how we react to it that truly matters. He emphasized the importance of mental agility and adaptability, believing that a mind honed through practice and discipline is far more valuable than any script or formula. This Stoic approach teaches us that life's unpredictability is not something to fear, but something to embrace. It's not about having a perfect plan, but rather about cultivating the mental strength to adapt, pivot, and thrive, no matter what life throws our way. So, how do we begin to ditch the scripts and cultivate a mind that's ready for anything? First, we must embrace the unknown. Life is full of surprises, and instead of shying away from them, we should see them as opportunities for growth and adventure. Alan Watts, a modern philosopher, once said, "The only way to make sense out of change is to plunge into it, move with it, and join the dance." This perspective aligns perfectly with Stoic teachings, which encourage us to accept what we cannot control and to find strength in our ability to adapt. Next, it's essential to cultivate curiosity. As men, we often feel the pressure to have all the answers, to be the one others look to for guidance. But true strength lies in being a lifelong learner, someone who is constantly seeking knowledge, challenging assumptions, and expanding their understanding of the world. Richard Feynman, a brilliant physicist, reminded us that the first principle is that you must not fool yourself, and you are the easiest person to fool. By staying curious and open to new ideas, we become more adaptable and resourceful, ready to tackle any challenge with a fresh perspective. Practice problem solving is another critical aspect of developing a trained mind. Life will throw obstacles our way, and it's how we approach these challenges that defines us. Thomas Edison famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." This mindset is essential for anyone looking to build mental resilience. Instead of seeing challenges as roadblocks, see them as opportunities to flex your mental muscles, to get creative, and to find solutions that others might overlook. Developing emotional resilience is equally important. Life is full of ups and downs, and the ability to manage our emotions, cope with stress, and bounce back from setbacks is what sets successful men apart from the rest. Susan David, a psychologist, speaks of emotional agility as the ability to be with your emotions with curiosity, compassion, and especially the courage to take values-aligned action. This means not being afraid to feel, but also not being controlled by those feelings. It's about maintaining a balance, staying grounded, and making decisions based on your values rather than your immediate emotional reactions. Finally, it's crucial to build a strong inner compass. Knowing your values, your priorities, and your purpose is what will guide you through the toughest times. Immanuel Kant, a philosopher, advised us to act in such a way that you treat humanity, whether in your own person or in the person of any other, never merely as a means to an end, but always at the same time as an end. This principle helps us stay true to ourselves, even when life's challenges threaten to pull us off course. It's this inner compass that will keep you grounded, help you make decisions that are in line with your true self, and ensure that you remain steadfast in the face of adversity. Now, let's consider how these concepts apply in real life. Take the example of the adaptable entrepreneur. When faced with a sudden market shift or even a global pandemic, the adaptable entrepreneur doesn't cling to a rigid business plan. Instead, they pivot, find new opportunities, and thrive in the face of adversity. This ability to adapt isn't about luck. It's about having a mind that's trained to see beyond the immediate problem and to find the potential in every situation. Or think about the resilient athlete. After suffering a devastating injury, a resilient athlete doesn't just throw in the towel. They rehab diligently, adapt their training, and come back stronger than ever. This resilience isn't just physical, it's mental. It's the result of a mind that's been trained to push through pain, to overcome obstacles, and to keep striving for excellence even when the odds are stacked against them. And then, there's Keir, the creative problem solver. When others get stuck in a rut, the creative problem solver sees opportunities where others see dead ends. They approach challenges with a fresh perspective, think outside the box, and come up with innovative solutions that others might never consider. This creativity is the hallmark of a trained mind, one that isn't bound by scripts or formulas, but is free to explore new possibilities. A trained mind is your most valuable asset. It's more powerful than any script, more reliable than any formula, and more adaptable than any prepackaged solution. By embracing the unknown, cultivating curiosity, practicing problem solving, developing emotional resilience, and building a strong inner compass, you can create a mind that's ready for anything. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca wisely said, luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. So, prepare your mind, embrace the challenges ahead, and watch as opportunities unfold before you, Because the true power lies not in the certainty of a script, but in the adaptability of a trained and resilient mind. Lesson 2. The long way around. Why shortcuts suck and the scenic route is where it's at. Alright, let's dive into the idea of taking the long way around. Now, I'm not talking about getting lost on your way to the grocery store or taking the scenic route just to avoid a traffic jam. Although, let's be honest, those little detours can sometimes lead to unexpected joys. What we're really getting into today is something much deeper, something that can transform how you live your life. It's about valuing the journey as much as, if not more than, the destination. It's about embracing the challenges along the way as golden opportunities for growth, and recognizing that true progress, the kind that sticks, is often slow and steady rather than quick and easy. The world we live in today is obsessed with speed and efficiency. We're constantly bombarded with promises of quick fixes, shortcuts, and hacks to get us where we want to go faster. Whether it's fast food, fast fashion, or fast results, there's this constant push to get more done in less time. But let's pause for a moment and think about this. Do these shortcuts really bring us lasting satisfaction? Or do they often lead us to dead ends, leaving us unfulfilled and sometimes even more stressed than before? As the old saying goes, the shortest distance between 2 points is not always a straight line. And this couldn't be truer when it comes to living a meaningful life. The ancient philosophers understood this concept well. Confucius, for instance, taught that the journey is just as important as the destination, if not more so. He wisely said, "It does not matter how slowly you go as long as you do not stop." This isn't just about physical progress, but about the personal growth we experience as we move through life. Think about it. Each small step forward, every challenge we overcome, and each lesson we learn along the way contributes to the person we become. The Stoic philosophers would add to this that the process of facing and overcoming difficulties is what builds true character. Smooth seas do not make skillful sailors, as the saying goes. It's the storms, the setbacks, and the tough times that teach us resilience, grit, and determination. These experiences shape us, pushing us beyond our limits and helping us grow stronger, wiser, and more capable. Let's consider for a moment the story of a modern-day entrepreneur. We often see the success, the accolades, and the wealth, but what we don't always see is the long, winding road that led there. Many successful entrepreneurs didn't get there overnight. They faced years of struggle, countless failures, and numerous setbacks. But it's precisely this journey, full of twists and turns, that taught them the most valuable lessons. It's in the process of navigating these challenges that they developed the skills, the insights, and the resilience needed to ultimately succeed. This is why taking the long way around isn't about being inefficient. It's about understanding that some of the most important work happens not in the rush to the finish line, but in the slow, deliberate steps along the way. Now think about an artist's creative process. Masterpieces aren't created in a single stroke. An artist's journey is often messy, full of experimentation, iteration, and refining. They embrace the unpredictable nature of creativity, knowing that the final product will be worth the effort. This process requires patience and a willingness to explore without the guarantee of immediate results. But it's through this journey that the artist discovers new techniques, overcomes creative blocks, and ultimately creates something truly unique and powerful. The same principle applies to personal growth. Becoming the best version of yourself isn't something that happens overnight. It's a lifelong journey of self-discovery, learning, and transformation. It involves facing your fears, challenging your beliefs, and stepping outside your comfort zone. This kind of growth doesn't happen quickly or easily, but it's the slow, steady progress, the long way around, that leads to real, lasting change. So, what's the takeaway here? Why should we embrace the long way around? Because it leads to deeper learning. When you take your time, when you don't rush the process, you give yourself the space to truly absorb what life is teaching you. You have more time to explore, to experiment, to make mistakes, and to learn from those mistakes. This kind of learning leads to greater wisdom and mastery. It also leads to greater appreciation. When you work hard for something, when you've put in the time and effort, you appreciate the outcome so much more. As the poet Mary Oliver beautifully said, instructions for living a life: pay attention, be astonished, tell about it. When you savor the journey, you develop a deeper appreciation for the destination. And finally, taking the long way around often leads to unexpected discoveries. Some of the most rewarding experiences in life are the ones we didn't plan for, the serendipitous encounters, the opportunities that arise out of nowhere, the detours that lead to entirely new paths. So I ask you, what's the rush? Why not take the time to enjoy the process, to learn, to grow, to discover? Why not embrace the journey with all its challenges and detours and trust that it's leading you exactly where you need to go? Remember, the value isn't just in reaching the destination, it's in every step you take along the way. The lesson here is clear: slow down, take the long way around, and allow yourself to experience life fully, with all its ups and downs. By doing so, you'll not only reach your goals, but you'll also gain the wisdom, character, and deep appreciation that comes from truly living. In the end, it's not just about where you end up, but about the person you become along the way. Lesson 3. Don't let this go to your head. All right, let's dive into a topic that resonates with many of us: success. We're not talking about the kind of success that buys you yachts and private islands, but the kind that stems from hard work, dedication, and maybe a sprinkle of luck. The kind of success that brings promotions, awards, and recognition, making you feel like you're standing on top of the world. But here's where we need to be careful. Success, while incredibly rewarding, can be just as intoxicating as any substance. It feels amazing to be praised, to be acknowledged, and to have others look up to you. However, it's all too easy to let this go to your head, to start believing your own hype, and before you know it, you might find yourself slipping into arrogance or entitlement. Socrates, one of the wisest philosophers of all time, once said, "The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing." This simple truth is crucial when we're navigating the waters of success. Even when we reach the peak of our careers or personal achievements, it's essential to stay humble, open-minded, and eager to keep learning. The ancient Stoics, such as Marcus Aurelius and Seneca, were well aware of the pitfalls that success can bring. They taught that humility, gratitude, and staying grounded in reality are key to maintaining balance in life. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor who had every reason to be arrogant, often reminded himself of the importance of humility. He once said, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." This observation highlights how we often seek validation from others, despite knowing that what truly matters is how we perceive ourselves. So, how can we avoid the trap of letting success go to our heads and instead stay grounded? First, remember your roots. It's important to stay connected to where you came from, to the struggles you've overcome, and to the people who have supported you along the way. Humility is not about thinking less of yourself, but thinking of yourself less. Reflect on the challenges you've faced and the help you've received. This perspective keeps you grounded and reminds you that success is often a collective effort. Next, practice gratitude. Be thankful for your achievements, but don't let them define who you are. Recognize that your success is not just a result of your efforts, but also of the opportunities you've been given, the timing that worked in your favor, and the people who helped you along the way. Oprah Winfrey wisely noted, "Be thankful for what you have. You'll end up having more." If you concentrate on what you don't have, you will never, ever have enough. Gratitude keeps you focused on the positive aspects of your life, preventing you from falling into the trap of always wanting more. Then, stay hungry. Success can sometimes make us complacent, But true growth comes from continually striving for more knowledge, more skills, more understanding. Michael Jordan, one of the greatest basketball players of all time, once said, "I have failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed." His relentless pursuit of excellence, despite his many failures, is a testament to the importance of staying motivated and driven, no matter how much success you've already achieved. Another key aspect of handling success with grace is to give back. Use your achievements to make a positive impact on the world around you. Whether it's mentoring others, supporting charitable causes, or simply being kind and generous, giving back is a powerful way to stay humble. The saying, "To whom much is given, much is expected," reminds us that with great success comes great responsibility. By sharing your success with others, you keep your ego in check and contribute to a better world. Finally, stay humble. No matter how high you rise, it's crucial to remember that you're not better than anyone else. Treat everyone with respect, kindness, and compassion. Confucius, the great Chinese philosopher, said, "Humility is the solid foundation of all virtues." This statement underscores the idea that humility is the bedrock upon which all other virtues stand. Without it, we risk becoming disconnected from others and from the reality of our own humanity. Let's bring these concepts into real life. Consider the humble CEO. A leader who doesn't flaunt their wealth or power. Instead, they treat their employees with respect, listen to their ideas, and give credit where it's due. This approach not only fosters a positive work environment, but also keeps the CEO grounded and connected to their team. Or think about the grounded athlete, who, despite fame and fortune, remains focused on their training and their teammates. They don't let their success inflate their ego, but instead use it as motivation to keep pushing for excellence. Lastly, take the grateful artist, who doesn't take their talent for granted. They continue to practice, experiment, and push their creative boundaries, using their platform to inspire and uplift others. In conclusion, success is indeed a double-edged sword. While it can bring joy, fulfillment, and incredible opportunities, it also has the potential to lead to arrogance, entitlement, and a distorted sense of self. By remembering your roots, practicing gratitude, staying hungry for growth, giving back to those around you, and maintaining humility, you can navigate the highs of success without losing sight of what truly matters. So, let me ask you, how will you handle your next success? Will you let it inflate your ego, or will you use it as an opportunity to grow, to give back, and to stay grounded in the values that got you there in the first place? Remember, it's not the success itself that defines you, but how you handle it. Thank you so much for joining me in this video on the power of humility, how Stoicism keeps you grounded. I'm grateful to have you here, engaging with these important ideas. Now, I'd love to hear your thoughts. How do you practice humility in your daily life? Have you found that Stoicism helps you stay grounded in challenging situations? If you're not sure what to comment, you can simply share how humility has played a role in your personal growth, or how you plan to incorporate Stoic principles into your life. Your insights could inspire others in our community, so don't hesitate to share. Lesson 4. Test your impressions. Let's dive into the crucial topic of testing your impressions, something we all do, often without even realizing it. I'm not talking about mimicking your favorite celebrity or nailing that Elvis impersonation, although those can be fun. What I mean are those snap judgments we make about people, situations, and events based on minimal information. Those gut feelings that can be as misleading as they are strong. We live in a world obsessed with first impressions. From swiping right or left on dating apps based on a handful of photos and a catchy bio, to forming opinions about job candidates after a brief interview, or even judging someone's character by their social media posts or their appearance, we're constantly making quick judgments. But here's the kicker. First impressions are often deceptive. clouded by superficial observations, stereotypes, and our own biases. As the old saying goes, don't judge a book by its cover, and yet we do it all the time. Ancient philosophers like Socrates and Buddha were keenly aware of the dangers of taking things at face value. They taught the importance of questioning our perceptions and digging deeper to uncover the truth. Socrates famously said, "The unexamined life is not worth living," and we might add that the unexamined impression is not worth trusting. This idea is as relevant today as it was thousands of years ago, especially in a world where information and misinformation is just a click away. So, how do we protect ourselves from the trap of false impressions and make more accurate judgments about the world around us? First, adopt the skeptic's stance. This means approaching every situation with a healthy dose of skepticism. Don't take things at face value just because they seem convincing at first glance. Ask questions, dig for evidence, and always consider alternative perspectives. Richard Feynman, a renowned physicist, once said, "The first principle is that you must not fool yourself, and you are the easiest person to fool." By questioning your initial impressions, you open the door to a more nuanced understanding. Next, practice. Playing devil's advocate with your own assumptions. Challenge your gut reactions and see if they hold up under scrutiny. Try to argue against your initial impressions, and you might find that they don't stand up as well as you initially thought. This method helps you avoid falling into the trap of confirmation bias, where you only seek out information that supports your preconceptions while ignoring anything that contradicts them. Become the information gatherer. Don't rely on just one source of information, especially if it aligns too perfectly with what you already believe. Seek out multiple sources, particularly those that challenge your existing views. As journalist Walter Lippmann put it, the real environment is altogether too big, too complex, and too fleeting for direct acquaintance. We reconstruct the world in our minds based on simplified models, but these models can be flawed. By gathering information from diverse sources, you can build a more accurate picture of reality. Maintain an open mind. Be willing to accept that your initial impressions might be wrong. This doesn't mean you should be indecisive or lack confidence in your judgments, but rather that you should be open to changing your mind when presented with new evidence or compelling arguments. Philosopher Bertrand Russell once observed, "The whole problem with the world is that fools and fanatics are always so certain of themselves, but wiser people so full of doubts." Wisdom often lies in the willingness to reconsider and adapt our views as we gain more insight. Finally, apply the time test. This involves giving people and situations the benefit of the doubt and not rushing to judgment. Take the time to observe behavior over a longer period, get to know people better, and see if your initial impressions hold up. Often, the truth reveals itself over time, and what seemed obvious at first glance may turn out to be misleading. These principles can be applied in various aspects of daily life. Consider the job interview. Instead of forming a judgment based on a candidate's appearance or a polished resume, dig deeper. Ask probing questions, allow them to demonstrate their skills, and check their references. First impressions can be deceiving. What truly matters is the substance behind the surface. Similarly, with the online dating profile, don't swipe left or right based solely on a few curated photos and a witty tagline. Take the time to read their profile, engage in meaningful conversation, and meet them in person before making any conclusions. The real person might surprise you, either for better or for worse. In the realm of siyl, political debates, don't just rely on what pundits or talking heads say. Do your own research, seek out articles from various perspectives, and engage with people who hold different views. This broadens your understanding and helps you form a more balanced opinion. In conclusion, in a world full of distractions and superficial judgments, developing the ability to test your impressions is crucial. By adopting a skeptic's stance, challenging your assumptions, gathering diverse information, keeping an open mind and allowing time to reveal the truth, you can make more accurate and thoughtful judgments. So, I ask you, the next time you find yourself forming a quick judgment, will you take a step back and question that impression? Will you dig deeper, seek more information, and give it time? By doing so, you not only protect yourself from false assumptions, but also open the door to a deeper, richer understanding of the world around you. Remember, it's not just about being right, it's about being wise. Lesson 5. Judgments cause disturbance. All right, folks, let's take a moment to talk about something that all of us, at one point or another, have been guilty of: making judgments. Now, I'm not just talking about those quick opinions we form when we see someone's outfit on a reality TV show, although we've all been there. What I really want to dig into are those deeper, often unconscious judgments we make about ourselves, others, and the world around us. These are the snap decisions, the labels we attach to people, situations, and even ourselves without much thought. Our brains can be like junkyards, cluttered with old, rusty judgments and preconceived notions that don't do us any good. We judge people based on their appearance, their accent, their job, or their latest social media post. We judge situations through the lens of our past experiences, biases, and fears. And perhaps most damaging, we judge ourselves based on our perceived flaws, failures, and shortcomings. But here's the truth. These judgments are often way off the mark. They're inaccurate, unfair, and can be downright harmful. They create unnecessary division, conflict, and emotional turmoil in our lives. As Buddha wisely said, holding on to anger is like grasping a hot coal with the intent of throwing it at someone else. You are the one who gets burned. The ancient Stoics, like Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius, were well aware of the destructive power that comes with judgment. They believed that it's not the external events themselves that cause our distress, but our judgments about those events. Epictetus hit the nail on the head when he said, "It's not things that upset us, but our judgments about things." For example, it's not the traffic jam that really makes us angry. It's our judgment that being stuck in traffic is an unacceptable inconvenience. It's not just the bad news that saddens us, but our judgment that this news is terrible and life-altering. The Stoics teach us that if we can shift our judgments, we can change our emotional responses and ultimately our experience of life. So how do we escape this junkyard of judgments and cultivate a more peaceful, open-minded perspective? The first step is awareness. Begin by paying attention to when you're making a judgment. Notice the thoughts and emotions that come up when you quickly label someone or something. Awareness is like shining a flashlight into the dark corners of your mind, bringing hidden judgments into the light. Once you're aware, the next step is to question your assumptions. Don't just accept your judgments as absolute truth. Ask yourself, is this really true? What evidence do I have to support this judgment? Am I being fair and objective? This process of questioning can dismantle those knee-jerk reactions that often lead us astray. Another powerful tool is to practice empathy. Try to see things from another person's perspective. What might they be going through? What could be motivating their actions? By putting yourself in their shoes, you can reduce your tendency to judge and instead foster understanding and compassion. A great example of this in everyday life is when you experience road rage. Instead of immediately judging the driver who cut you off as a jerk, consider that they might be dealing with a personal crisis or rushing to the hospital. This shift in perspective can instantly diffuse your anger and help you approach the situation with a calmer mindset. It's also crucial to focus on the present moment. Judgments often arise from past experiences or fears about the future. By grounding yourself in the here and now, you can let go of these projections and experience the world without the heavy filter of your preconceived notions. For instance, before you make a quick judgment based on someone's social media post, remind yourself that what you see online is just a curated snapshot of their life. You don't know the full story, and jumping to conclusions based on limited information does no one any good. Finally, learn to 1. Cultivate acceptance. The truth is, not everything is going to go your way. People will disappoint you, situations will be messy, and life will continue to be unpredictable. By accepting this reality, you can reduce your suffering and find more peace in the present moment. Instead of spiraling into self-criticism, when you make a mistake, practice self-compassion. Remind yourself that everyone makes mistakes and that these moments are opportunities for growth, not reasons to judge yourself harshly. Judgments are like mental chains that bind us to negativity and conflict, stealing our peace of mind. But by becoming aware of these judgments, questioning our assumptions, practicing empathy, staying present, and embracing acceptance, we can break free from this cycle. So next time you catch yourself making a snap judgment, pause and ask yourself, is this really true? Could there be more to the story? By doing so, you not only bring more peace into your own life, but also contribute to a more understanding and compassionate world. The lesson here is simple yet powerful. Don't let your brain's drama steal your zen. Choose to live with more awareness, compassion, and peace. Lesson 6. If you want to learn, be humble. Let's have a genuine conversation about humility, a quality that's often misunderstood but incredibly powerful. I'm not talking about being a pushover or constantly downplaying your abilities. No, true humility is about possessing a quiet confidence, understanding your own limitations, and maintaining an unquenchable thirst for knowledge and personal growth. It's the kind of humility that doesn't diminish you, but rather elevates you, opening doors, building connections, and paving the way for a lifetime of learning and self-improvement. So why is humility so essential, especially in a world that often praises ego and self-importance? Let's start with the ego's roadblock. Every one of us has an ego. It's that part of us that craves recognition, validation, and a sense of superiority. It's the little voice inside that says, "I've got it all figured out," or "My way is the best way." But here's the catch. When we let our egos drive the bus, they often steer us away from wisdom. The ego blinds us, making us miss out on valuable opportunities to learn, grow, and genuinely connect with others. Socrates, the great philosopher, once said, "I know that I know nothing." This isn't a statement of ignorance, but a profound recognition that true wisdom comes from acknowledging the limits of our knowledge and being open to the endless possibilities of what we have yet to learn. Now, let's explore what I call the humble advantage. Humility isn't about thinking less of yourself, it's about thinking of yourself less. It's about recognizing that you're not the center of the universe, that there's always more to learn, and that others have valuable insights and experiences to offer. Humility, far from being a weakness, is actually a tremendous strength. It enables us to be more open to new ideas. When you're humble, you're more willing to listen to different perspectives, challenge your own assumptions, and change your mind when presented with new evidence. Richard Feynman, a renowned physicist, put it perfectly. The first principle is that you must not fool yourself, and you are the easiest person to fool. Humility keeps us grounded, ensuring that we remain open to the truth even when it's uncomfortable. Another benefit of humility is that it allows us to learn from others. No matter who you meet, whether they're a CEO or a janitor, they know something you don't. Humility helps us to approach every person with the mindset that there's something to be learned from them. This not only enriches our own knowledge, but also fosters deeper, more meaningful relationships. And speaking of relationships, humility is a key ingredient in building stronger connections. When you're humble, you become more approachable, more likable, and more trustworthy. People are drawn to those who listen, who show respect, and who are open to collaboration. Humility breaks down barriers and builds bridges, making it easier to work together and achieve common goals. Humility is also crucial in cultivating a growth mindset. A growth mindset is the belief that your abilities and intelligence can be developed through dedication and hard work. Humility plays a vital role in this mindset because it allows you to acknowledge your limitations and seek out opportunities for improvement. When you're humble, you're not afraid to admit that you don't know everything, which in turn motivates you to keep learning and growing. This continuous pursuit of growth and learning often leads to greater success. It might seem counterintuitive, but humility can actually be a catalyst for success. When you're humble, you're more likely to seek out feedback, learn from your mistakes, and collaborate with others. This leads to better decision-making, more innovation, and ultimately, greater achievements. Let's bring these ideas into the real world. Take the humble CEO as an example. A humble leader doesn't micromanage their team or hog the credit for successes. Instead, they empower their employees, foster collaboration, and create a culture of learning and growth. This approach not only drives the company's success, but also earns the respect and loyalty of the team. Or consider the lifelong learner. Someone who is constantly reading, attending workshops, and seeking out mentors. They understand that there's always more to discover, and their humility keeps them on the path of continuous growth. Then there's the wise elder, who doesn't pretend to have all the answers. Instead, they generously share their wisdom, listen to others with respect, and acknowledge their own limitations, which only deepens their wisdom and influence. So what's the takeaway here? Humility is not about putting yourself down or pretending you're less capable than you are. It's about having a realistic assessment of your strengths and weaknesses, being open to learning from others, and recognizing that you're part of something much bigger than yourself. Laozi, the ancient Chinese philosopher, wisely said, "Knowing others is intelligence. Knowing yourself is true wisdom. Mastering others is strength. Mastering yourself is true power." Humility is the key that unlocks this self-mastery, leading to a life rich in learning, growth, and meaningful connections. So I ask you, how will you let humility shape your journey? Will you set aside your ego, embrace the unknown, and open yourself to the wisdom that surrounds you? Remember, the path to true wisdom starts with the simple act of acknowledging that there's always more to learn. So, embrace humility, and watch as it transforms not only your perspective but also your entire life. If you've made it this far, you're truly committed to the power of humility. Drop a comment saying, "I stay grounded," to show you're embracing this stoic journey. Stay tuned, the wisdom ahead will keep you even more centered. Lesson 7. Reject tantalizing gifts. Have you ever found yourself irresistibly drawn to an offer that seems too good to pass up, only to later regret the decision? Let's delve into the age-old struggle against temptation, particularly those tantalizing gifts, those shiny, alluring opportunities that promise to elevate our lives, but often lead us astray. In today's world, where ads bombard us with promises of quick fixes and instant gratification, it's easy to fall prey to the siren song of temptation. Consider the myth of Tantalus, who was eternally tantalized by fruit just out of reach and water that receded whenever he tried to drink, forever hungry and thirsty, never satisfied. This myth serves as a powerful metaphor for how fleeting pleasures can lead to long-term dissatisfaction. The ancient philosophers, including Socrates and Epictetus, recognized the dangers of succumbing to such temptations. Socrates famously asserted, "The unexamined life is not worth living," highlighting the importance of self-awareness and reflection in resisting impulsive decisions. Epictetus echoed this wisdom by stating, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants," emphasizing that true contentment comes from within rather than external acquisitions. So how can we, as men navigating the complexities of modern life, resist these alluring but potentially harmful temptations and make choices that align with our long-term well-being? First, consider the long view. When presented with a tantalizing gift or opportunity, it's crucial to take a step back and assess its long-term consequences. Will this decision bring lasting happiness and fulfillment, or is it merely a temporary high that will soon fade, leaving you with regret? For instance, a high-paying job that demands excessive time and energy might offer immediate financial rewards but could lead to burnout and strained personal relationships in the long run. By adopting a long-term perspective, you can evaluate whether an opportunity truly aligns with your life goals and values. Next, perform the value check. Ask yourself if this opportunity aligns with your core values and priorities. Is it something that will genuinely enrich your life, or is it merely a distraction that pulls you away from what truly matters? Immanuel Kant wisely noted, "Act in such a way that you treat humanity, whether in your own person or in the person of any other, never merely as a means to an end, but always at the same time as an end." This means that decisions should be guided by respect for yourself and others, ensuring that they contribute positively to your life and relationships rather than detracting from them. Then, consider the opportunity cost. Every choice has a cost. What are you sacrificing by accepting this offer? It could be time, energy, relationships, or even your values. Milton Friedman famously said, "There's no such thing as a free lunch," reminding us that nothing comes without a cost. For example, accepting a lucrative sponsorship deal that doesn't align with your personal or professional values might offer immediate financial gain, but could damage your reputation and personal integrity in the long term. By understanding what you are giving up, you can make more informed and balanced decisions. Finally, engage in the gut check. Trust your intuition and listen to your inner voice. If something feels too good to be true, it probably is. Your gut feeling can often provide valuable insights that your rational mind might overlook. As the philosopher Aristotle said, "Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom." If an opportunity or offer doesn't feel right, it's important to heed that feeling and proceed with caution. For instance, if a business deal seems overly enticing but doesn't sit well with you upon reflection, it might be wise to decline and seek opportunities that align better with your values and comfort level. Let's apply these principles to everyday scenarios. Imagine receiving an offer for a high-paying job that requires long hours and frequent travel. Using the long view, you might assess whether this role aligns with your long-term career goals and personal life balance. Through a value check, you could determine if the company's values and culture resonate with your own, considering the opportunity cost. You might recognize that the time and energy spent on this job could impact your relationships or personal well-being. Finally, a gut check might reveal whether you genuinely feel excited about the opportunity or apprehensive about the demands it entails. By thoroughly evaluating the offer from multiple angles, you can make a decision that supports your overall well-being and aligns with your values. Another example is the allure of social media influencer deals. On the surface, they seem like fantastic opportunities for exposure and income. However, applying the long view, you might consider whether aligning with certain brands aligns with your long-term reputation and personal brand. Through a value check, you could assess if promoting a particular product or service aligns with your personal ethics and the message you want to convey to your audience. The opportunity cost whereas might involve the potential loss of credibility or trust if the product doesn't align with your values or if the partnership doesn't feel authentic. And with a gut check, you can evaluate whether the deal feels right and whether it genuinely benefits your personal and professional growth. In the end, the wisdom of the Stoics teaches us that true contentment and success come from inner discipline and self-awareness rather than external rewards. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, advised, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This strength lies in the ability to discern what truly matters and to resist the fleeting temptations that distract us from our path. By adopting these philosophical principles, you can navigate the myriad of temptations in modern life with greater clarity and purpose, ensuring that your decisions contribute to your long-term well-being and personal growth. So, as you encounter tempting offers and shiny objects in your daily life, ask yourself, does this align with my values and long-term goals? What am I sacrificing by accepting this? How does this make me feel deep down? By answering these questions, you empower yourself to make choices that reflect your true self and support your journey towards a more meaningful and fulfilling life. Remember, the pursuit of lasting happiness and fulfillment is not about accumulating more, but about aligning your actions with your values and priorities. As Epictetus wisely stated, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Embrace this Stoic wisdom, reject the superficial temptations, and focus on what truly matters, ensuring that your path is guided by integrity, purpose, and inner strength. Lesson 8. Less is more. Let's dive into the concept of minimalism, but not the kind that's all about empty spaces, sterile decor, or a closet full of identical outfits. Instead, I want to talk about minimalism as a mindset, a way of living that puts quality over quantity, experiences over possessions, and intentional choices over mindless consumption. It's about decluttering not just your home, but your mind and your soul to make space for what truly matters. We live in a culture that constantly pushes us to want more money, more stuff, more followers, more likes. The message is clear. The more you have, the happier you'll be. But here's the truth. More is an illusion, a never-ending chase that often leaves us feeling emptier, more stressed and more overwhelmed than before. As Joshua Becker, a prominent voice in the minimalist movement, wisely said, the more you have, the more you're occupied. The less you have, the more free you are. This idea isn't new. It's deeply rooted in ancient philosophy, particularly in Stoicism. Think of Seneca and Marcus Aurelius, who taught that true peace and contentment come not from accumulating wealth or seeking external validation, but from simplicity, frugality, and focusing on what really matters. Seneca put it best when he said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." So, what does embracing a minimalist mindset really mean? It's not about denying yourself or living in deprivation. It's about making deliberate choices, prioritizing the important things, and letting go of the excess that weighs you down. It's about clearing the clutter, both physical and mental, so that you can create space for the relationships, passions, and personal growth that truly enrich your life. Let's break down how you can start embracing this mindset to live a richer, more meaningful life. First, declutter your life. Begin with your physical space. Clear out the items that you don't use, need, or love. Clothes, books, gadgets, furniture. Anything that doesn't bring you joy or serve a purpose should go. This isn't just about cleaning the house. It's about reducing the mental clutter that all this excess creates. Marie Kondo, the organizing consultant who took the world by storm, advises, keep only those things that speak to the heart and discard items that no longer spark joy. It's amazing how much lighter and freer you can feel when you're surrounded only by the things that truly matter to you. Next, simplify your schedule. In our busy lives, it's easy to get caught up in saying yes to every invitation, every project, every opportunity. But being overscheduled often means you're not spending time on the things that are most important to you. Learn to say no more often and make room for the activities that truly matter. Greg McKeown, author of Essentialism, puts it succinctly, if it isn't a hell yes, it's a no. This philosophy helps you focus your time and energy on what really counts, rather than scattering it across too many commitments. Another important area to consider is your digital life. Curate your digital life, just as you would your physical space. Unsubscribe from email lists you don't read, unfollow social media accounts that don't inspire you, and set limits on your screen time. The internet and social media are incredible tools, but they can also be sources of significant stress and distraction. Digital minimalist Cal Newport argues, digital minimalism definitively does not reject the innovations of the internet age, but instead rejects the way so many people currently engage with these tools. By being intentional with your digital consumption, you can reclaim your time and focus it on activities that truly nourish your soul. Let's also talk about the value of focusing on experiences. Over material possessions. Material items can bring temporary satisfaction, but experiences create lasting memories and enrich your life in ways that stuff simply can't. Instead of buying the latest gadget, consider investing in experiences, a trip, a concert, a workshop, or simply a meal with loved ones. These are the things that will stay with you long after the novelty of a new purchase has worn off. Finally, cultivate gratitude. In a world that constantly tells us we need more, taking time each day to appreciate what you already have can be a powerful antidote. Gratitude shifts your focus away from what's missing and towards the abundance that's already in your life. It's a simple practice, but one that can have profound effects on your happiness and well-being. So how does all this play out in everyday life? Consider the idea of a capsule wardrobe, a small curated collection of clothing that you love and that mixes and matches easily. It's about quality over quantity, choosing a few pieces that make you feel great rather than a closet full of clothes you barely wear. This approach not only simplifies your morning routine but also reduces decision fatigue, freeing up mental energy for more important things. Or think about the concept of digital decluttering. By reducing the noise in your digital world, you can focus more on what truly matters, whether that's spending time with your family, pursuing a hobby, or simply enjoying a moment of peace. Minimalism is about more than just getting rid of stuff. It's about making space for what truly matters in your life. It's about living with intention, prioritizing quality over quantity, and finding contentment not in more, but in less. As you move forward, ask yourself, what can I let go of to make room for what really matters? How can I simplify my life to focus on what brings me true joy and fulfillment? Remember, as Seneca said, it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor. By embracing the philosophy of less is more, you can create a life that is not only richer in experiences and meaning but also happier and more peaceful. Lesson 9. Becoming an expert in what matters. Let's take a moment to dive into the idea of becoming an expert, but not just any kind of expert, the kind who commands respect, who is sought after for their deep knowledge and skill, and who makes a lasting impact in their chosen field. We're talking about mastery that goes beyond surface-level knowledge, the kind that comes from years of focused effort, deliberate practice, and an unwavering passion for your craft. In today's fast-paced world, we're often told to be well-rounded, to have a diverse set of skills, to be a jack of all trades. But let's be honest, when you try to do everything, you often end up excelling at nothing. The saying, a jack of all trades is a master of none, but oftentimes better than a master of one, might hold some truth, but it's also important to remember that true expertise requires concentration, dedication, and a singular focus. Spreading yourself too thin can dilute your efforts, making it difficult to achieve the level of excellence that truly matters. The ancient philosophers understood this well. Aristotle, for instance, emphasized the importance of specialization and the pursuit of excellence. He famously said, "We are what we repeatedly do." Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. This idea suggests that mastery isn't achieved overnight. It's the result of consistent, intentional effort over time. Similarly, Confucius believed that by dedicating ourselves to a particular craft or discipline, we not only benefit ourselves, but also contribute to the greater good of society. So, how do we escape the trap of trying to be a jack of all trades and instead focus on becoming an expert in what truly matters to us? First, you need to identify your passion. What truly excites you? What activities make you lose track of time because you're so engrossed in them? Your passion is the fuel that will drive you toward mastery. When you care deeply about something, you're naturally more inclined to invest the time and energy needed to become proficient at it. It's this passion that sustains you through the long hours of practice and study, and it's what makes the pursuit of expertise not just a goal, but a fulfilling journey. Once you've identified your passion, it's crucial to focus your energy. In a world full of distractions, it's easy to get pulled in multiple directions, but to achieve true mastery, you need to concentrate your efforts on your chosen field. This means saying no to opportunities that don't align with your goals, prioritizing your time, and creating a schedule that allows you to dedicate significant energy to developing your skills. Remember, it's not about being good at everything. It's about being exceptional at something that truly matters to you. Next, commit to deliberate practice. As psychologist Anders Ericsson, who popularized the concept of deliberate practice, explained, "The right sort of practice carried out over a sufficient period of time leads to improvement. Nothing else." This kind of practice isn't just about putting in the hours. It's about focused, intentional effort aimed at improving specific aspects of your performance. It's about pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, seeking feedback, and continuously refining your technique. Deliberate practice is what separates amateurs from experts, and it's a key component of mastering any craft. But even the most dedicated practice can benefit from guidance, which is why it's essential to seek out mentorship. Finding a mentor who has already achieved the level of expertise you aspire to can be invaluable. A good mentor will share their knowledge, offer constructive feedback, and help you navigate the challenges you'll inevitably face on your journey to mastery. They can see potential in you that you might not yet recognize, and they can help you develop that potential to its fullest. As the saying goes, a mentor is someone who sees more talent and ability within you than you see in yourself, and helps bring it out of you. Of course, no path to mastery is without setbacks, which is why you must embrace failure. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's a vital part of the learning process. Every expert has faced countless failures on their journey to the top. What sets them apart is their ability to learn from these failures, to adjust their approach, and to keep moving forward. It's through these experiences that you'll gain the resilience and insight necessary to achieve true mastery. Let's consider how these principles apply in real life. Take the chess grandmaster, for example. These individuals don't just play chess, they live and breathe it. They spend countless hours studying the game, analyzing past matches, and playing against other skilled opponents. This dedication to their craft is what allows them to see the game in ways that others can't, making them some of the most respected players in the world. Or think about the Michelin-starred chef. These culinary masters spend years perfecting their skills in the kitchen, experimenting with flavors and techniques, and continuously pushing the boundaries of what's possible in cooking. Their passion for food drives them to create dishes that are not only delicious but also works of art, earning them accolades and respect from peers and patrons alike. So, what's the takeaway here? To become an expert in what truly matters, you need to focus on a few key principles. Find your passion, dedicate your energy to it, practice deliberately, seek guidance from mentors, and don't shy away from failure. Mastery is not a destination, it's a continuous journey of learning, growth, and improvement. So I ask you, what is it that you truly want to master? What field or skill captivates you so much that you're willing to invest the time and effort to become the best at it? By answering these questions and committing to your craft, you'll not only become an expert in your chosen field, but also make a meaningful impact on the world around you. Remember, as Aristotle said, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. So make mastery your habit and watch as it transforms not only your career, but your entire life. Thank you for joining us in today's video. Before we move on to the next segment, I'd like to take a moment to express my gratitude to you. It's a pleasure to have you as a member of our community. Please feel free to share your story or personal impressions. Alternatively, if you're unsure of what to say, simply leave a comment saying, "I am a newbie," if you've just joined us. or I am Stoic if you've been with us for a while. Your engagement not only signifies your presence, but also serves as a significant motivation for us. All right, let's continue this journey together, shall we? Lesson 10. Pay your taxes. Let's take a moment to address a topic that, while not glamorous, is undeniably crucial: paying your taxes. I know, the thought of taxes might make you want to tune out, but stick with me here because this is about much more than just numbers and government forms. We're diving into something deeper: your civic duty, your social responsibility, and the philosophical foundation that underpins why contributing your fair share is vital for the greater good. It's easy to be tempted by the idea of dodging taxes, especially when you hear stories of the wealthy and powerful finding loopholes to avoid paying their share. You might even think, if they're getting away with it, why should I pay? But here's the truth. Tax evasion isn't just a legal offense. It's an ethical failure. It's a selfish act that damages the very fabric of our communities, eroding the social contract that binds us together. The ancient philosophers like Plato and Aristotle had a profound understanding of civic duty and social responsibility. They recognized that we are not just isolated individuals, but members of a larger community, and with that membership comes responsibility. Plato once said, "The heaviest penalty for declining to rule is to be ruled by someone inferior to yourself." This wisdom reminds us that if we neglect our responsibilities, including paying taxes, we leave room for less scrupulous individuals to dominate, potentially leading to governance that doesn't reflect our best interests. Taxes are more than just a financial obligation. They're a contribution to the collective well-being of our society. This idea is rooted in the concept of the social contract, an implicit agreement among members of a society to cooperate for social benefits. Thomas Hobbes, another great philosopher, argued that without this contract, without a functioning government funded by taxes, life would be solitary, poor, nasty, brutish, and short. In other words, without our collective contributions, we'd be plunged into chaos and anarchy. So why should we pay our taxes? Let's break it down. First and foremost, funding. Essential services is one of the primary reasons. Our tax dollars are what keep our schools running, our hospitals operating, our roads in good repair, and our emergency services like police and fire departments ready to respond when needed. These services are the backbone of a functioning society, ensuring that our communities are safe, educated, and healthy. Can you imagine a world where these services didn't exist? It would be a world where only the wealthy could afford safety, education, and healthcare. A deeply divided society with vast inequalities. Speaking of inequality, taxes also play a crucial role in promoting fairness and equality. By contributing to programs like Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid, your tax dollars help provide a safety net for those who are less fortunate. These programs are essential for millions of Americans, offering support in times of need and helping to reduce the gap between the rich and the poor. In a world that increasingly emphasizes individual success, it's important to remember that a society is only as strong as its most vulnerable members. Your taxes help ensure that everyone has a chance to live a dignified life. Moreover, paying taxes is an investment in our collective future. Investing in the future is another significant reason why taxes are essential. The money collected from taxes funds research and development, infrastructure projects, and other critical investments that will benefit society in the long run. Think about the roads you drive on, the bridges you cross, the public parks you enjoy. These are all made possible through tax dollars. And it's not just about today's conveniences. It's about building a better, more sustainable future for the generations to come. But beyond these practical reasons, there's a deeper, more philosophical reason to pay your taxes. It's about fulfilling our civic duty. Paying taxes isn't just something you do because the law requires it. It's a moral obligation. It's a way of showing that you care about your community, that you're willing to contribute to the common good. When you pay your taxes, you're supporting the very fabric of society, ensuring that we all have access to the services and protections that make life in a community possible. Let's consider how this plays out in everyday life. Think about the public school teacher. Their salary comes from tax dollars, and in return, they educate the next generation, preparing them for the workforce and instilling the values of citizenship and responsibility. Or consider Basa the firefighter, whose life-saving work is funded by taxes. They risk their lives to protect our homes and communities from disaster. And then there's the nurse, a crucial part of our healthcare system, also supported by tax dollars. These professionals provide essential care to the sick and injured, often working under immense pressure and responsibility. Paying your taxes is about more than just fulfilling a legal requirement. It's about being a responsible member of society. It's about recognizing that we're all in this together, that our contributions help build and maintain a community that works for everyone. So the next time you think about taxes, consider the broader impact of your contribution. Are you willing to play your part in building a fairer, more just society? Remember, as the great philosopher Plato suggested, neglecting our responsibilities opens the door for less capable and less ethical leaders to take charge. By paying your taxes, you're not just complying with the law, you're actively participating in the creation of a better world for yourself, your family, and your community. Let this be a reminder that the true measure of a society is how it treats all its members, and through your taxes, you're helping to ensure that everyone gets a fair shot. As we conclude our exploration of the power of humility, how Stoicism keeps you grounded, I encourage you to take a moment to reflect on how these principles can shape your own journey. True strength is found not in arrogance or pride, but in the quiet confidence that comes from understanding our place in the world. By embracing humility, we open ourselves to growth, learning, and the wisdom that comes from recognizing our interconnectedness with others. This grounded approach not only strengthens our character but also deepens our relationships and enhances our ability to navigate life's challenges with grace. I invite you to consider how you can apply these lessons in your daily life. What steps will you take to cultivate humility and stay grounded amidst the ups and downs of life? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Feel free to share your experiences or questions in the comments below. If you found this video valuable, please give it a thumbs up, share it with someone who might benefit, and subscribe to Stoic in Your Life for more content like this. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss an opportunity to continue growing and learning together. Thank you for watching, and remember to stay humble and keep striving for personal growth. As we conclude our exploration of the power of humility, how Stoicism keeps you grounded, I encourage you to take a moment to reflect on how these principles can shape your own journey. True strength is found not in arrogance or pride, but in the quiet confidence that comes from understanding our place in the world. By embracing humility, we open ourselves to growth, learning, and the wisdom that comes from recognizing our interconnectedness with others. This grounded approach not only strengthens our character, but also deepens our relationships and enhances our ability to navigate life's challenges with grace.